let's come to our mats and just find a comfortable seat, whether that is butterfly pose or soles of the feet together. This is a little bit of a spooky special yin practice before we come up to the weekend of Halloween. So you can choose a mudra here if you like. You could take a Jan mudra with the thumb and the finger connecting, and then just resting the fingers down onto the knees and just let the elbows relax down towards the waist. Let the shoulders relax away from the ears so that you feel this length from the earlobes to the collarbones. Maybe you choose to close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths in and out of the nostrils as you begin to center yourself today. And whatever your day has already brought and offered you, let all of those thoughts of your past day go, and also your future evening, and come right into the present moment. So being completely aware of you, completely aware of your breath, your physical body, any sensations and feelings that have come up for you as you sit here. This practice is also to celebrate the new moon. Today is a new moon, and we also had a partial eclipse as well. So maybe you saw that. But the new moon is a time for new beginnings, a time for setting intentions or goals under the darkness of a new moon. So maybe you have an intention to mind. And of course, you never have to find an intention at this point in practice. And as we come towards Halloween at the weekend, Halloween is in many traditions the acknowledgement of the balance of darkness and light, but also to observe and remember and dedicate the saints or the hallows, the martyrs, and all of the faithful that has departed this earth. So Halloween now is a commercial enterprise of fun and trick and treats and Halloween parties and costumes. Always brings on a different element. So in our practice today, we will be finding balance between the right and the left sides of the body, the right and the left hemispheres of the brain, the darkness and the light, and the masculine and the feminine. Gently release the mudra, and if you had the legs crossed, just unrelease the legs and change the legs so that you again find the balance. And let's come into Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. So bringing the two fingers of your right hand either down to the palm or just up to the center of the forehead, just between the eyebrows. And the other palm can rest upwards down onto the knees. So using your right hand and breathing in through both nostrils and breathe out through both nostrils. Draw up to the two fingers if that's placed at the center of the Ajna chakra. And then on your next inhale breath, close off the right nostril with the thumb and breathe in through the left. Close off the left with the ring finger. Exhale out of the right. Breathe in through the right. Close off the right with the thumb and exhale out of the left. That's one complete round. Let's repeat one more together, breathing in. Closing off left, opening right, breathing out. Breathing in right. Closing off right, opening left, breathing out. I'll leave you in peace and silence to count 8 more rounds for yourself. Once you have finished your 8 rounds, just releasing the hand down, breathing normally through both nostrils, just noticing the effects. Noticing anything that came up for you on the left or the right sides. And then just start to circle the shoulders up towards the ears, circle back. So really feel that you're drawing the shoulders forward as if you were hunching, and then drawing the shoulders up towards the ears, and then circling them all the way back as if you're opening the chest and the collarbones. So drawing a big circle. Breathing in as you lift up, breathing out as you circle back and down. Noticing clicks, crunches, anything that you feel in your shoulder girdle. And gently release the circles, lift the legs, and bring yourself into a little gentle hug. Just relax the belly, the chest over the thighs. Let the head release and really try to relax into the neck here as you breathe out. And breathe through the back of your body, breathe through the back of your spine, feeling a gentle stretch all the way from the base of the spine up to the neck. And then gently unroll, and let's come into our scary cat and scary cows. So finding a tabletop position, just swaying from side to side, releasing through the hips. And then breathing in as you look forward for that scary cow. Exhale. Scary cat. So finding a flow of breath with each movement of the vertebra. Pressing away from the mat through the palms. Keeping the shoulders nice and rounded as you come into that cat, and open as you come into the cow. Then maybe if you've got some blocks by the side of you, you might wish to use those for the next posture, which is our monster lunge. So we're just going to bring our right leg forward. And your choice here, whether that foot faces forward, so the toes are facing forward, or you might wish to wing the knee out to the side. It depends how you like your dragon lunges usually, but I'm calling them monsters today. And then just start to drop forward and backwards. And if you're on a hard surface, you may wish to just double up the mat underneath that back knee. So you're just releasing the hips forward to the mat and to the front heel, and then pulling it back into a half split. So you're just feeling the hamstrings, the back of the knee, the hip flexors. And in a moment, we're going to come into that monster lunge and stay there. So releasing the hips down, trying to be soft through that back knee. And your choice here, opening the chest, open the shoulders. You might stay upright, or depending if you've got those blocks handy, then bringing yourself down onto the forearms, which is a little bit more relaxing for the wrists. And then relax the head and the neck. So let gravity take the pelvis forward to the mat. We are here for a few minutes. So really make sure that you are nice and comfortable to stay and hold and find stillness here. Noticing sensations and feelings that come up for you from the body sending messages back to the brain, how you respond and react to those messages, what you may need to do to modify or change the posture in any way. Steady flow of breath. Really allowing the exhale to release a lot deeper. And let's slowly come out of the posture, bringing the hands back to the mat if they were on those blocks. And let's take it back into your half splits, or what I'm going to call mischievous monkey. So again, using those blocks or your hands down by the side of your right calf and shin. Give yourself a little bit of a lengthen here as you fold from the hips. So rather than fold from the waist, really lengthen the spine forward. Take a bend into that front right knee. If that back of the leg is a little tight, relax the head down towards the shin. Let the head be heavy with gravity. And maybe you come down onto the forearms if you're feeling that that's okay for you. Always remembering that our yin edge is very different to our yang edge in practice. So our yin edge, we want to feel something. So it might be on a scale of 1 to 10, around 4, 5, or 6. I want to work towards a challenge towards increasing that edge, but not going into a place of discomfort or pain. We're here for just a few more breaths. Let go a little deeper. Deep breath out as you release even further. And slowly come back up. And just release that right leg back. Take time to bring it back into a tabletop. Sway it out. Circle the hips if you like. Forward and back. Let's take that to the left. So again, bringing left foot forward. And just choosing your option, whether you wing that knee and that heel out to the side. So dropping forward nice and gently, and then dropping back, lifting the toes up as it comes onto the heel. Releasing and drawing back. And then last time we come forward and we prepare to stay and find that monster lunge. So maybe you stay upright on the blocks or on your hands, or you might wish to come down onto the forearms. And everybody's different here. And, you know, right and left, we could be different. So it's always just listening to our bodies, respecting those messages. Trying to release the pelvis nice and deeply towards the mat. Try not to hold on to any muscle tension around the pelvis or the hip joints here. Try to really breathe out and relax and let go of muscle contraction. Working to find your edge on the second side and also find that balance from right to left. Deep and slow breaths in and out, releasing even further on the exhale. And we're doing great with just a few more breaths in this monster lunge. And slowly preparing to come out, bringing yourself back up nice and slowly and gently, and just pulling yourself back to that mischievous monkey pose, or half splits, basically, drawing that front leg in front of you. And again, just folding from the hips. So draw the pelvis backwards, lengthen the tailbone, and let the body fold over the thigh. And again, maybe taking a soft bend into the back of the knee if you feel any tightness. And choosing, the level of those blocks. If you've got those blocks handy, the level might be different to the other side, but you've still got that level of support. And each breath may take you a little bit deeper into the posture than you started. We're holding these for 3 minutes each. So after the first minute of holding, you may find yourself getting a little bit more depth, more release. And it's really important with Yin to know your range of motion and any limitations as well. So definitely not overstretching. I think that mischievous monkey is giving us a little bit of a challenge here in this posture, certainly for me. Draw inwards to sensations. And just a few more breaths. We are doing great here. Nice and slowly start to come out. Hands come back up if you came to the forearms. And then start to draw that heel back into tabletop and sway out. If you need to, do a few rounds of your scary cat and cow. And let's release back and swing the legs around in front of us, just to come off of the knees. And if you wish to, just give the legs a little bit of a massage. Give the knees a little bit of a massage. And let's come into our zombie forward fold. So sitting nice and tall, and you can always sit on a block here and use a strap if you wish to, but starting to roll forward, getting the belly down towards the thighs, getting the chest down towards the knees, rolling through the shoulders, letting the head and the neck relax and be heavy, relax through the feet, the ankles. You can always give yourself a little bit of wiggle room underneath the buttocks to release some of the flesh from the sit bones. Really relax the shoulders away from the ears here. Breathe out to release deeper towards the legs, but breathing in through your back body, through the back of your legs. Each breath takes you deeper into the fold. Few more breaths. Breathing out, letting go even deeper, further, relaxing, releasing. And gently keeping the chin where it is to the chest, start to walk the hands back towards the hips as you start to slowly roll up through the spine. And coming into an upright position, just find your shoulders resting over the waist and over the hips. Sitting nice and tall, zombie style. And then swing the legs around behind you. Come up onto the knees and let's take our gargoyle Malasana squat. So a wide leg squat here. So take the feet to the outer edges of your mat. And if you wish to, you can always sit on a block if you don't like to hold Malasana for 2 to 3 minutes. So your choice. But if you can, start to release through the hips, bringing the hips down towards the heels. And you can always place a blanket underneath the heels. If the heels aren't quite meeting the mat, that's okay. They can be lifted. They don't have to be flat, but think about rolling the feet backwards rather than the ankles rolling inwards or the knees rolling inwards. Try to get the flattest part of your feet connecting to the mat, lengthening spine, closing the eyes. Finding your edge here. really being aware of everything in this posture. The pelvic floor, the hips, the pelvis, the sacrum, the spine, the shoulders, the neck, the head. The feet, the toes, the ankles, the knees, the legs, the arms and the hands. Just a few more breaths, doing great. Keep breathing, keep smiling. Imagine that gargoyle sitting at the top of a cathedral looking down. And gently release the hands. Take time to come out. Start to lengthen the legs and lift the sit bones as you heel toe the feet into parallel, into hip width. And just make sure that the toes are facing forward, and just give yourself a little bit of release through the ankles, through the knees, and then start to take a fold, zombie ragdoll. And take hold of the elbows, sway from side to side. Let's stay in our ragdoll pose. So maybe you start to straighten through the back of the legs, up through the knees, not popping through the knees, but letting the body weight really fall. Relax through the sit bones, the glutes, the hips, the legs, the spine. If you need to bend the knees, relaxing the belly and the chest down onto the thighs, do that. If you need to release the hands down to the mat, do that. Being completely aware of the feet and the weight distribution being equal between the toes and the heels. And it's about finding balance. Just a few more breaths here. It is an inversion. The head is below the heart. So really, if you do start to feel dizzy, you need to level off the head and the heart very slowly. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring the hands down. We're going to start to bend through the ankles and the knees, and gently bring the knees back down to the mat so the head is level with the heart once more into tabletop position, and just sway from side to side. And let's come back to a wide leg child's pose here with the hands underneath the forehead, and just sway the hips back and relax the belly, the chest between the thighs. Breathing through the spine. And after each posture, we always take a little kind of rest pose, just so that you can process, so that you can feel what went on with each one. Looking forward, releasing the hands, let come all the way down to the mat into prone position. So lying down on our bellies, and the hands come underneath the forehead once more. And just gently sway out and release through the hips, through the belly, through the waist and the lower back. And maybe widening the feet here to the outer edges of your mat. So this is a spider pose, which is technically a seal. So the fingertips come out to the side, just like little spiders. And then keep the chest nice and broad, keep the elbows, the shoulders nice and broad, and just pressing up, ripple up. We don't have to come too high, but keep the pubic bone and the hip bone grounded. And roll down, belly, rib cage, and chest and head. Twice more, we ripple up. And then the last time, we come down and we place the palms down onto the mat and just press through the palms. And maybe those palms come in front of you this time onto the mat, and we start to straighten the arms. And again, we don't have to come too high here. Everybody's back extensions are different, but draw the shoulders away from the ears here. So again, we get that length from the earlobes to the collarbones rather than the neck sinking into the shoulder sockets. Ground the pubic bone, the hip bones. We're staying here for just 2 minutes. Breathing, relaxing facial expression, releasing tension in the teeth and the jaw. Letting the lower back release into the belly and the belly release into the mat. And if this posture comes a little bit too much, just release the forearms down, keep the chest open and lifted. It's always an option to do a wide Sphinx pose. And the Sphinx protects those Egyptian mummies. And slowly widening the elbows, rolling down, belly, rib cage, bringing the hands underneath the head once more. Big toes touch, heels fall out to the sides, and just sway out into that released and neutral prone. And again, find that response moment as we come out of the posture. What goes on in these rests? Observing, taking note. And bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, gently press yourself back up. Sway out. Scary cat, scary cow, if you like. So a little bit of a new one here. This is our balance posture. So finding the balance. It's a toe stretch and a balance. So wearing me floppy trousers, aren't I? So you can keep the heels together if you like, and you're up onto the tiptoes. Try not to let the ankles fall backwards behind you. Try to push the ankles forward. Knees go nice and wide, and you can take the arms out to the side here if you like, and just find a balance moment. A little bit tricky. It's called floating ghost. So the toes are really trying to find the balance. You're really trying to focus on the ankle strength. Doing great. That's right. Woo. And it takes a bit of focus, a bit of concentration. A few more breaths, doing great. Get used to it after a while. And gently release the hands in front of you. Come off of the toes and come back into that little zombie sway, that zombie fold, ragdoll. Release the spine. Feel the toes release. Feel the feet come nice and flat. Breathe out. Let the body fall down. And let's release back. Down into prone. This time, the hands come back behind you. And they interlace the fingers. We're coming into our locust pose. So really planting the tops of the feet down. Roll the shoulders up, back, and open the chest. Press the knuckles back towards the heels. And it's a half locust if you wish, so you can keep the feet down, or you might lift the toes and the feet away and stretch, stretch, stretch. Only 1 minute here. So nice and steady, controlled breathing. Find the focus. Find the strength. So this is an all body practice. Hips, feet, knees, core, shoulders, chest and upper back. Doing great. Lift up a little more. Press the knuckles back towards the heels. And slowly release and roll down. Take the face to the cheek and sway out. And then press the hands underneath the shoulders as you come back to tabletop, and then back through child's pose and up to kneeling. So your choice here, we have evil eagle arms. So you can choose the legs out in front of you. You can choose kneeling. I'm going to go with kneeling. Or you can choose your cow face legs. Now you remember your cow face legs are one leg goes over the top and then the feet come out to the side and then you sit back. And so if you've got your left leg on front, that means your right arm goes on top for evil eagle arms. So as I say, I'm not going to do the legs. I'm going to stay kneeling, but that is your choice. Or you can take the legs out in front of you. So let's have left arm on top. And really lifting up through the elbows here. So the elbows lift, the shoulders draw down. You soften the rib cage, so draw the rib cage in and down to the belly rather than flaring the ribs. Spine is nice and long. Reach the fingertips up towards the sky, and then we're going to take a fold forward. So keep the elbows and the wrists away from the head, and then start to reach towards the front of the mat and folding forward. And then maybe the arms come down to the mat, or they might come to a block. Keep the chest, the shoulder nice and open. Reach the fingertips forward. Big stretch across the upper back, the shoulders, the outer shoulders. Relax the head here if you wish to, into the crook of the elbow. So you can feel the back of the neck stretching. And gently lift up, lift the core. Use the back muscles, the side muscles to bring you back up to center. Keep the elbows nice and lifted, shoulders down, and gently release the arms. Take them out to the side and circle the shoulders. Good work. I'm going to try it a different way. So I did kneeling. I'm going to bring the legs out in front, so that's a bit symmetry. Right arm goes on top, and you don't have to have the double bind here, the double wrap. The hands can be on the back of one another, but lift the elbows, draw the shoulders down. Again, be aware of the rib cage flaring. Draw the rib cage in and down. Lift up the fingers, lift up the gaze, and then lift up and start to fold forward. So you're going to bring the elbows down to the mat, keeping the elbows away from the body, rounding and broadening across the shoulders, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, and then letting the head release into the crook of the elbow. We're not here for the full 3 minutes. Again, trying to find the balance from right to left, noticing any differences, any subtleties that come up. Breathing in, lengthen the spine, draw in core, front, back, sides, reach the fingertips away, lift the arms up. And gently release, unravel, and circle the shoulders. Good work. Do what you need to do there. If you need to bring the arm across just to stretch a little bit, do that. And we're going to come into one more pose before we come down onto our mats. This is our freaky frog. So knees go wide, you can come sideways onto your mat, and again you can always double up the mat on either side so that you've got extra padding for the knees here. And think about 90 degrees at the back of the knee, at the ankle, so you're flexing the feet, and then bring yourself gently downwards, either onto a bolster, resting the head on the block, or the hands. Let's take 3 minutes here. Try to release through the hips, the legs. Breathing into tightness. I'm hoping that those gargoyles and the monster lunges all warmed our hips up. So this is our peak pose for the practice. So really working towards finding a challenge in your edge. Deep, slow exhales. Further depth, further release, further gravity to be found. Last few breaths here. All starts to slow down after this one. So bringing yourself just a little bit forward, bringing the toes together behind you, and then gently pressing yourself back, putting the hands down, put weight in so that you can gradually lift the legs nice and slowly, bring them back into center to kneel, and just bring yourself upright. Take a moment to process the response of your frog, freaky frog, and let's come down onto our back. So if you need to make yourself warm, go ahead, and gently rolling down through the spine and draw the knees in towards the chest. And just roll out through the spine. Really feel your skeletal system. So, we're often quite scared of these skeletons and skulls and bones and things like that, but that's what we're made of. That is, that makes us up, that allows us to stand. So really now draw into your skeletal system, your spinal column, your rib cage, the bones in your arms, your legs. Let's take a dead bug pose. So reaching the arms and the legs up towards the sky. Try to release the shoulders down. Let the hips be nice and heavy, and close the eyes if you've got bright lights above you. Relax around the eye area, the forehead, the cheeks, the jaw and the teeth and the throat. And feel how heavy your bones become when the legs and the arms are up in the air in space. And then begin to gently bring some movement into the wrists and the ankles by circling the wrists, circling the toes, mobilizing into those joints which very much get neglected but are very much overused. And then drawing the knees towards the outer edges of your rib cage and lifting up into a happy baby at the end of our practice. So just swaying from side to side, bringing yourself back into center and just releasing the tailbone down towards the mat. Breathing deeply into any remaining tight areas. Smiling to yourself. And then gently release the heels to the buttock and send the legs all the way along the mat. Just take a moment to rest in your corpse pose. Shavasana. Just feeling what the body's telling you. And bring the left foot into the center of the mat. in line with your hip. Your right foot comes either to the thigh or to the calf, and open that hip out to the side. So this is a reclined tree pose. The arms go up above you, and you shuffle the shoulders over to the right corner of your mat. So this is a crooked tree. So we're anchoring through the left side of the body, and you're releasing through the right knee, the right hip, but you're giving the side stretch of the body as well. Releasing into the right hip. Breathing out to let go of the tension of the muscles in the glutes and the buttocks. There's always tension to be found somewhere if you look for it. Breathe out any tightness. And breathing in, bring the head, the shoulders, the arms back into the center of the mat. Release the hands down, release that right leg and foot to the end of the mat, and widen the left back into corpse for a moment of pause. Right leg comes center in line with the hip, left foot either to the calf or to the thigh. And release through the ankle, the knee and the hip. And then arms come above the head, shuffle the shoulders over to the left corner. And feel that stretch in the right side of the body and feel the release in the left. This is our last posture before we come into our final relaxation in corpse. So try to let go of tightness and tension within the muscles and the connective tissue here. And shuffling the arms, the head, the shoulders, the upper back into the center. Release the hands down by the side. Release the left leg gently to the corner. Right leg to the corner. Take a moment in corpse. If you need to, you can shimmy through the hips. Give yourself a little bit of release through the pelvis. And draw the knees in and roll and massage out and prepare for final relaxation. So making sure that you're nice and comfortable and warm, using blankets, eye pillows, bolsters, whatever you need to come into that corpse pose. Lying back and making any final adjustments to your posture, to how you're lying. Arms are out to the side with the palms face up to the sky. Resting on the back of the skull, and the neck and the throat are nice and soft. And the facial expression is one of relaxation through the muscles and the jaw and teeth. And taking a moment again to just go deeper, still deeper past the skin, past the flesh, the muscles, into the skeletal system. Go into the bones, the joints. Feel them become heavy, weighty towards the earth. Really letting your skeleton succumb to gravity onto your mat here. Slow and steady breaths into the lungs, the belly, breathing deeper past the rib cage, the spinal column, takes you down to the pelvis, which connects to the legs. Let the femurs be heavy. The kneecaps are soft. The lower leg bones are relaxed. Feel the heel bone connecting. And all of the tiny, tiny little bones in our feet relaxing, becoming heavier. Taking a nice deep breath in all the way from the big toe right up to the top of your skull. Slowly and steady, breathe that long breath out all the way from the skull back down to the big toe. And then steadying your breath for a couple of minutes of silence in Shavasana. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths. Bring your awareness back into your surroundings, back onto the mat and into the body by bringing soft and gentle movement to the fingers, moving bones, the knuckles, the wrists, the toes, the feet and the ankles, and then gently either stretching or drawing the knees in, or both. And just taking your time here to come out of your corpse pose as you roll to one side and gently bring yourself up into that comfortable seated position once more to close our practice together. And sitting nice and tall, just bringing the hands into Anjali Mudra at heart center. And drawing the thumbs in towards the breastbone, the sternum that goes down, or towards the center of your rib cage. And again, feeling that connection to the skeletal system as you sit. The sit bones are pointing downwards towards the earth, and the spine is nice and long. And the skull feels nice and light on top of your spinal column. And remembering back to the start of the practice where you may have set your intention underneath the darkness of the new moon. And finding that balance through our practice, the balance of darkness and light, left and right, masculine and feminine. And always remembering to thank your body. And I thank you. Namaste. And I wish you very, very happy new moon intentions and a very happy Halloween.